here in downtown Providence. I'm happy to welcome my first guest, Robin Garceau with Robin Garceau Interiors. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
As we're looking all around us at big windows here in the studio, the topic of conversation, if you're not in that cookie cutter house or apartment, and you have unusual windows, window sizes, how do you even begin to approach saying, do I need treatments? How do I get treatments? I mean, there's so many steps you probably have to take a look at saying, how do I even tackle this?
Well, what I try to do right from the beginning, so it's easier, obviously, if you're building. So when you're building, architects always love to have these gorgeous, unusual windows, whether they're round, oval, two-story windows. They love putting them in a house because they add, obviously, a lot of character and design. The problem is, okay, where do these windows fall? If you remember maybe the 70s and 80s, everybody with big homes was building, they were building these houses with the windows on their second story. So you have a big, huge arch window. I'm not sure anybody ever thought to ask, okay, will somebody see me as I'm standing on the second floor landing coming out of my bedroom? So most of the time, yes, you can see someone standing over there. So I'd get into a house and I'd look at it and say, oh my God, okay, how are we going to treat this? So when you're building, which is the easiest thing, figure out where it lands in your house.
Okay.
Try not to put it in a bathroom. Try not to put it in a bedroom if you want to sleep in. If you're the type of person that needs room darkness when you sleep, don't put like a big eyebrow window that is right up against two walls and all of a sudden now there's no way to treat it.
Are there just some untreatable windows?
There are some untreatable windows, and you can always put something on it, but it depends on your budget as well. So, I mean, I'm doing an oval window in a bathroom, and they didn't even think of it beforehand, but it's probably going to be $3,000 or $4,000 to do a custom shutter within that oval window. So yeah, sometimes you can, sometimes it's not so easy. Yeah.
So it really also depends on the room, as you mentioned as well. Again, how much privacy you want, and it is a kind of personal taste because I guess some windows could be left untreated, but it depends on what's outside and how much, again, light that you want coming in.
Absolutely. So, for instance, now I'm working on a house and we have this beautiful feature walls, 2 stories of window, absolutely gorgeous. But when we first started, we immediately started talking about how we're going to treat these windows because it is directly opposite the TV in this room.
Oh,
so
brings in a lot of light.
Yeah, tons of light. Now, it is on the north side, so there are some trees, so it's not like direct sunlight. But you still need light control, you still need privacy. So, but we address those questions right from the beginning. If you're in a house now that either you're buying or you're in a house now, just understand those treatments are going to cost quite a bit. And you just have to say to yourself, you know what? Okay, I get it. It's like paying for a fence in your yard or a roof on your house. At least you get to enjoy these treatments every day. You're spending $10,000, $20,000 on a roof, you never really see it unless you're up on top of the house.
This is here, it's in the house, it's part of the home. And let's talk a little bit about unusual windows. Blinds, drapes, shades. I mean, is it a personal preference first and foremost?
Yes, it is. Sometimes if you're a little more modern and you want just like a panel glide fabric treatment, personally, I'm all about draperies. Love, love, love draperies. I've never not loved draperies. So another house that I'm working on right now, it's a custom design build, and in the bedroom, we did just that. We put an eyebrow-shaped window in the bedroom. Right from the beginning, I was saying, okay, make sure we leave enough room on the sides and enough room on the top, because now what I'll do is I will literally put a drapery wall to wall up to the ceiling. So when that drapery is closed, it's completely private and it's completely room darkening. But when it's off, you get the full view of the window.
That was going to be my next question. If you have unusual shaped windows, you can sort of take a traditional tack, but if it's unusual, you're probably going to be using a lot of material so that you've covered all your bases.
Two-story windows. I mean, you have, say, 20 feet of drapery fabric times however wide you need to make it. So yeah, it is a lot of fabric, a lot of fabric.
And how does it again vary by the client? The interplay of drapes and the decor of the rest of the room. I mean, it's such a focal point for someone coming in. Do you find people, I mean, what's the sense when you're decorating? What do you start with first? Is it the upholstery and what you're using on the walls, and then the drapes come later? Is it part of the whole package?
I think it depends on where the client is in relationship to, okay, I have a sofa, I have an area rug, that kind of thing. So what they'll do is, what I'll do is say, what are we using, if anything? If it's brand new, we do the whole thing together. You may not order it all together, but okay, we pick the sofa, we pick the chair, we pick an area rug, we pick the draperies, or blinds, or whatever it is. We put it all together, and they either order it all at once or in stages. If they have product already, then I take that and then we design around that. We'll choose the paint based on their sofa. We'll take some artwork and we'll design around that. So it really depends on the client and what they have to work with.
Have you seen folks go into houses and if there's really elaborate drapes around special windows, say, can we put that in the purchase price?
Yes, yeah.
Can you leave the drapes?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. If they're nice draperies or they're really nice blinds, I would absolutely ask for them because they are not inexpensive. Window treatments, custom window treatments are not inexpensive. And 9 times out of 10, it's very rare that you can find ready-made treatments to actually work with what you have. So either, if you are buying, absolutely, if it's nice, if they're shutters, if they're blinds, if they're draperies, try to get that in the purchase price or at least try to negotiate for them because most of the time, especially custom window treatments, they can't take those to the next house.
No, they can't take it. They can't take it with you.
Most of the time you can't. Sometimes they try to put it in their new home, but try to negotiate for that because that's a big coup.
So one of the things you mentioned here about the functionality, up and down or side to side.
There are some windows that you just can't do up and down. If you have a 12-foot sliding glass door or a triple slider, you really can't go up and down unless you have all these multiple shades coming, and it's not very attractive. So there are very few products that go side to side. You can do some type of blind treatment, a vertical blind, which I don't love. You could do a drapery, or you could do these panel glide fabrics that are fairly new. So those you have to go side to side, but you always have product hanging on the side. If you have a smaller door, you can very easily, 6 or even an 8-foot door, you can go up and down and do it in a way where it might just disappear behind a wood molding that is meant to look like a molding of architectural detail. Or you can go right up into a simple cornice, so something on that idea to get the full view of your door. But yeah, and the stacking. So if you have a 12-foot door, and someone will say to me, oh, I really want to put a drapery on there. Okay, if you want to get that fabric off of the door, you have to have at least 2 to 3 feet on each side of that door to get that fabric completely off. If it's some type of blind, it's a smaller stack, so we can manipulate that. But for the most part, you're trying to do a drapery on a 12-foot door, you need a 16-foot span. Yeah.
You need more to get it off to the side. Let's talk about those big windows. If you're getting the draperies, is it just sort of the pull stick? If it's not that one you can reach, what's the functionality of moving these big drapes?
Okay, so that's a great question because if you're building, one of the things you really want to think about before you have the electrician come in, even if you don't think you're going to do it right then, but you may want to do it down the road, you run a wire, a hard wire, to that area so you can do a motorized shade that doesn't take batteries.
Okay.
So if you have batteries, but it's 15 feet up in the air, it's going to be a pain in the neck trying to just get those batteries into that shade when the power dies. So you want to hardwire it anytime you can. If it's lower, you can easily do motorized shades very easily, or motorized draperies without a problem.
Expense with that? I mean, what is the labor cost incurred to motorize a drape?
Surprisingly, for say blinds and shades, it might be several $100, maybe $500 to $1,000 more
Okay.
to do something like that. But believe me, it's so worth it because to have to worry about it going up and down. And now too, you can do them on your iPad or your smartphone.
Your tablet.
Yeah.
Move the shades.
Move the shade, or you set it to go off at a certain time of day, like at 8 o'clock in the morning goes up, and then all of a sudden at noon you've got this blinding sun coming in on your drapery, on your floor and your furniture. It automatically, you can set it to close at the worst time of the sun so it doesn't ruin all your furniture.
Oh, yes, for everything to get faded as well. So it sounds to me, especially if you're building new and you're looking at the architectural plans, you really should be incorporating an interior designer in the process and not necessarily after the fact to say, hey, I love this idea, but how feasible is it and how are we going to approach this?
I absolutely agree. You really should be talking to an interior designer before you finalize your architectural plans. Architects do a beautiful job with the exterior. Contractors and builders are fine, but a lot of times they just don't think of the functionality and the practicality of what's going on and how you're going to live in that space. So yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Get somebody involved right from the beginning. It will save money over time because you won't be saying, why did we do that? Why did we do that? Why didn't we do that?
I can't cover it, but you've
Yeah.
done so many, and you mentioned a few that you had approached as well, but if done right, if you've got the budget, are they worth it? Like, just from that unique quality, that quality when you see them.
Yeah, they really are. Window treatments to me, like I said with draperies, I'm just finishing up a house in Portsmouth. And the husband, he did not want draperies. It's a beautiful view, right on the water, really gorgeous. And I said, look, trust me, they're this big on either side of the window. And to me, it just elevates the whole look of the room. Just because you're waterfront, oceanfront does not mean it has to be cute. It can be really elegant, but yet approachable and comfortable. So for me, I do them all day long. I love them. They don't have to be obtrusive or obnoxious. They just are there to warm things up, make it beautiful, and I do them all the time. So.
Well, I appreciate picking your brain because, again, not everyone's getting that cookie cutter window when they go someplace new. And if you have odd-shaped windows, how to approach it from a design standpoint, Robin Garceau with Robin Garceau Interiors broke it down for us here in the GoLocal studio. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I look forward to talking soon.
I will.
Okay, thanks. I'll let you go around the corner.
Take care.
And we'll go around the corner and bring you back the next guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center.